My son Michael normally attends these events with me, and he's not here today. He is at his program. I brought him back last night. Well, we had a great weekend together. My son did change my life, as you heard. We have been on a journey together, is what I call it. And my son has taught me about life. He's taught me things that an engineering career could never teach me. And I think he's put me right where I'm supposed to be, which is working with all of you to advance these initiatives and to support the people that need our help. As you heard this year, I'm very honored to be able to lead the Committee on People with Disabilities. I'll be working with Senator Fahey on the Senate side, which we've had a working relationship in the past, so I think it's a powerful connection to have Senator Fahey and myself leading the disability committees on the Senate and the Assembly side. So that is something that I'm looking forward to working with. We both know that a strong, stable system of care for individuals with IDD is not just important, it's essential. And I see it as a legislator, but I've also lived it. My son's 23 this year. He graduated, he walked across the stage at Shaman, which was another milestone for us that we were able to see him do that. It wasn't his class. Although it wasn't his class, it was just as meaningful. He was able to practice and to get across that stage. But I can tell you that he wouldn't have been there without what we're talking about here today. The supports, services, the help that he got along the way. These are essential things. The direct care professionals, people that work with him each and every day. And I remember through COVID, because I got to see it. I got to see it inside exactly what they do every day, because we have to do it virtual in some cases. But I got to see the dedication and the care and the passion firsthand. We're talking about dignity, independence, and ensuring that every individual has those opportunities to thrive. My son was able to make it to that milestone, and I'm excited for the next chapter. I really am, because I know there's other people that are out there that want to work with him, want to see him succeed. And if individuals don't make it to that next milestone, that's our fault. We didn't invest in those supports and services that I know work, because I've seen it. I've seen it work. I've seen it how we can help people achieve their goals, achieve their version of the American dream. We can see ability, not disability, by providing the supports that we need. The foundation of the system is direct support professional. It's that workforce, the caregivers, the mentors, the advocates, the people that make it possible for individuals with disabilities to lead meaningful lives. But why are we all here today? Why are we all here again this year? Because for far too long, New York has not made those investments. We've seen it time and time again. We have not seen the investments in this workforce. And we're facing a crisis once again that demands immediate action. I'm hopeful that this year we can see a budget that actually makes meaningful investments and begins to turn this around. Not everybody is connected. We have to keep that in mind. Not everybody has a family member. Not everybody knows what we're talking about. It's up to us to share our stories, to tell them what this means, to talk about personal stories, to talk about what direct support professionals have meant to our families, to our lives. Not everybody's connected, not everybody's going to know. It's up to us to convince them. That's our job. Unfortunately, I know Kirk Lewis is here. Yeah, I want to recognize Kirk Lewis, because unfortunately, because of these investments, what we saw back in my district is we saw that Schenectady ARC, I'm from Schenectady, Schenectady ARC had to close its doors. And there is no more Schenectady ARC. Fortunately, Liberty ARC, anybody here from Liberty? In Amsterdam? No. Liberty ARC has picked up that area. But that's what's happening in our communities. They're short-staffed, underfunded, and sometimes it means that you can't continue. And if these organizations start closing their doors, that means people are going without. That means the lists are going to get longer. That means people are not going to get the support that we're talking about here today. I've also seen over the years the struggles, people left on waiting lists for services for far too long. I've also seen DSPs that leave their jobs because the wages simply aren't enough to make ends meet. And I know we celebrated, is Bella Stewart here? Bella Stewart? How many years was she there? How many years?
50 plus.
50 years. I went to Schenectady ARC not too long ago when it was still open, and Bella Stewart, she was there for 50 years, and we had a beautiful celebration for her. Why was she there? Turns out she was connected. She had a family member, her son, right? Her son.
Right.
Her son. And these are the people that remain, not for the pay, but for the passion. They're there for a different reason. And it's heartbreaking when we see people have to leave these jobs. It's heartbreaking to see when agencies can't retain staff. And DSPs work long hours. It's a demanding skilled role, but they have to leave their jobs for retail, for fast food, because they can't afford to stay in the field. That's just not right. That's just not right. But that is what's happening. It's not just a staffing issue, it's a life-changing disruption for the individuals that they care for. And I've seen this myself. I go pick up my son, I find somebody new. And I know as a parent, and I know from being up here what that means. It means that someone has to learn about Michael all over again. And sometimes it means that things get missed, things are not known that should be known. There's a number of different things because every individual has different needs. And sometimes we see when someone new comes on board, there's no mentor ahead of them, because that's part of it too. People like Bella Stewart are able to teach people on the job. The statistics, we talked about, we had a great hearing the other day. A lot of you were there. And the statistics paint a clear picture. Turnover rates are very high. Vacancy rates continue to climb. And many provider agencies are unable to fill the positions and leaves people without consistent care. That's exactly what we're talking about, exactly what I just experienced with my son over the years. Wages unacceptably close to minimum wage. That is just unacceptable. Despite the critical nature of this work, and again, don't assume everybody knows, because if you're not connected, people may genuinely not know. But that's why you're here today. Tell them what this job is about. I know what the job is about because when my son's home on the weekend, I pick him up on a Friday, I have to drop him off on a Sunday. He's at the Center for Discovery. We get up in the morning. I have to shave him. I have to shave him now. He's 23, so we have to do the shaving thing. I have to shave him. I have to brush his teeth. I have to floss him. I have to give him a shower. I have to pick out his clothes. I have to make sure he gets his medicine 3 times a day, different medicines. I have to make sure he has meaningful activities during the weekend. I have to make sure he's being productive, make sure he's learning things, make sure he's doing things, make sure he's doing skills, hobbies, whatever his interests are. That's what DSPs are doing. That's exactly what they're doing. They're doing what I would be doing if I was there. And a lot of people don't understand that. Because if they did, we would have saw this investment a long time ago. But that's why we're here. That's why we're here. That's our job, to tell those stories, those personal stories of what it means to have a DSP and to go without, what the difference is. Past efforts in New York State, the cost of living adjustments, the one-time federal relief, it helped temporarily, but it did not solve the problem. There's an underlying problem that needs investment. So this year, what we need, and I've written letters to the governor already, and hopefully they will not go unheard. If we don't take bold action this year, the crisis is only going to get worse. We need to take meaningful steps. At the hearing, what I loved hearing about the DSP Wage Enhancement Act, which creates a wage board. I think that's a wonderful idea, and it's something that I'm putting in my request for my one-house budget that I want to put in our budget proposal to raise wages indexed to inflation, ensuring DSPs are fairly compensated and that wages remain competitive over time, not just a one-shot deal. The Wage Commission could establish fair, sustainable pay standards for human service workers, recognizing the skill and responsibility required for this work. I think it's a great idea. I'm going to add it to my letter. I want to thank everybody who testified in support of this. I did see all the social media posts on this as I was at the hearing, so that was very effective for me. And we must restore the rate-setting authority to OPWDD, ensuring the funding decisions are made by people who understand the IDD community. Beyond the wages, I believe we also need to invest in career development and workforce stability. An investment in the credentialing programs. There's been some success in Liberty ARC in Amsterdam. They've a couple of classes now of DSPs that have been credentialed, and I think it's the first step in professionalizing, giving people recognition for this work. It also helps people understand this is something that is important. It's not just a job that people take. It's a job that is a career. It's a passion. And these credentialing programs, I think we should need to invest more into our SUNY schools to provide professional growth opportunities and help retain talent and elevate this field. Also, in my letter to the governor was a request to establish a service provider support fund to ensure agencies can receive consistent funding to invest in training, retention, and workforce development, and provide long-term stability rather than short-term fixes. They do need funding like any other company out there, any other business out there. They should have funding to be able to make sure their workers are recognized, make sure their workers have opportunities, make sure there's advancement opportunities. That requires funding. A lot of what we're talking about here comes down to funding, comes down to the state budget. But it's not just about numbers in the budget. Behind every statistic, behind every number that we talk about, are real people, real families, in a system that so many people depend on. If we don't act now, the system will further destabilize, and the care that individuals rely on every single day will further diminish. We have an opportunity to prioritize these items: fair wages, workforce stability, sustainable care for New Yorkers. So I urge the governor, I urge my colleagues. I know Senator Fahey is on board with this. I shared my letter with her. She completely agrees. I don't know if she spoke here yet, but if she hasn't, I know she will. But I look forward to continuing the push this year and to get this investment that we've been waiting for so long. I believe we do have more support this year than we've had in years past. I see it in the executive proposal. There is more in there than I've seen in the year past. We still need. It's not enough, but it's encouraging. But that's where we come in. That's where we come in. By taking bold action now, by being here today, we can build a stronger, more inclusive New York, one that truly supports individuals and families affected by disability. And I can tell you as a state legislator and as a father of a son with autism, a son with a disability, I can tell you that this defines who we are, how we take care of individuals that need our help. How we invest in the state budget. Are we going to invest in people? Because if you want to change the world, if you want to change our community, this is the way to do it. These families have been waiting for a long time. People on waiting lists for housing, people on waiting lists for services. It shouldn't be that way. Some people have had to go back home and leave the agencies and go back home to parents that are perhaps elderly, or in some cases, the parents may have passed away. But these are situations we can avoid by making this investment. So I want to thank you for this opportunity to speak to all of you. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to lead this committee. This is my passion. This is what drives me every day. My son is my angel. There's good days and bad days, and I tell you, he reminds me. My son's pretty nonverbal. He doesn't talk too much, but he doesn't need to. And he reminds me that keep fighting for me. Keep fighting for us. Because there's more for me to do. And that's what keeps me going. Thank you.